Hardback. We actually had an interview with the creators of this game on our channel. You can check that out. And Hardback is sort of the sequel to Paperback, which is a deck-building, word-making game from Tim Fowers Games. New one designed by Jeff Beck and Tim Fowers. And like we said, it's a deck-building game, but the cards are all letters. And every time it's your turn, you have to make a letter with a word with your hands, just one letter, which is how Paperback worked. This one has a few interesting differences.
Yeah. First off, you can choose to put a card face down and use it as a wild.
Yep.
In addition, instead of the cards really the other one had each card was separate and they just had random abilities. This one has some abilities, but really they focus really on points or money. That's mostly it. The other abilities are actually attached to a genre. There are 4 genres. There is romance, adventure, horror, and mystery. And these cards will actually play. So if you get a lot of mystery cards, they'll do a bunch of stuff.
So yeah, like a lot of deck building games, they trigger off of each other. So if you have at least 2 in the lineup, then they'll work. Just one by itself won't use its special power.
There also are legacy letters?
They're called like classic.
And pretty much
literary classics.
They stay out in front of you. So you might get a chance to use them again for their abilities. And if you played any deck building game, anything that stays out is usually pretty good. However, your opponents can use them too, which can be.
And then the other thing is ink. There's a lot of new stuff in this game. Ink. So in Paperback, there were cards that would let you draw extra cards if you wanted to make a better word.
Those are like you wanted those cards when they came out.
Those don't exist in this game. The only way to draw more is to purchase ink for 1 cent per turn, or per ink on your turn. And for each ink you use, you get to draw a card. But that letter you draw, you have to use that in your word. So it's a press your luck thing, where if you want to get more points and a bigger word, you've got to hope you're getting letters that you can use.
Right, and there is some ways to get around it, but we won't get into that nitty-gritty part. But overall, comparing to Paperback, Hardback really focuses more on, because you can do wilds and stuff, I think it's really about making much bigger words, I felt. Like we were really focusing more on your own words. When in Paperback, there are a lot more drawing, attacking your opponent. So it was really just throwing them out like that. Really, you got to take advantage of that ink system in this one.
Yeah, it really is. That ink is the big differentiator because it kind of turns it into a push your luck game, which is a very different take on it.
And not only that, because you can get more cards to draw, a lot of it isn't just, oh, I'm going to buy an A or an E. You're going to be like, I could get the E, but that F is in the adventure genre, which I have a bunch of cards for.
Yes.
And we noticed that, and it became really fun. If you played any of the other games, you get that engine going of and legendary Spider-Man, and like getting a lot of Spider-Man cards or something. Getting a lot of horror, you and I both did, turned very well in our favor. It allowed us to make some very big words.
Yeah, we had some fun back and forth that way. I was surprised, I knew this was a sequel to Paperback, how different it actually felt. Originally I was thinking this probably will just replace Paperback straight up. After playing it, I'm like, no, actually it's pretty different. They both can kind of stand on their own, even though they're both making words. They feel, this one has so many different systems.
Exactly, because even though you have the 4 groups, their special abilities, it was like horror let you get something called whiteout. The legendary was more about points. The romance was like doubling nearby cards, and the investigation let you
mystery let you flip wilds to use them for their points.
So it wasn't really it was really focusing on you're trying to make a big turn for yourself. When I felt like Paperback was more of a definitely more player interaction and more of an on guard. Like, I'm gonna buy out this pile so you can't get it, and then use this attack word to make you discard a vowel or something. When this is no, you're going all in to make an 11-letter word. Floundering, I think, was your word?
My last word was floundering, yeah.
Yes.
11 letters, it was great. Yeah, and there's a bunch of variants that we haven't experimented with yet, like different events and player powers that we definitely want to try, and a co-op mode. So lots of cool stuff. I'm sure this was a Kickstarter, which I think is going to be going out to people pretty soon, and then he sells all his game on Tim Fowers' site. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it at some point.
Definitely this is a great one for if you're a big word fan, because of since it focuses more on making sure you do your own turns. You don't have to feel like you're getting punished by other players. You can be like, I know I have another E in there, another D somewhere of this genre, which is going to just let me make this crazy word.
Yeah. Do you think you have a preference between the two yet, or maybe we've only played this one once? So
honestly, I want to play the modes more. because that's really because both of them have a lot of extra little things in there.
Yeah.
And it depends on the mood, because like I said, this is more greater for bigger words than the people I'm playing with. The other one, it's sort of fun to be able to play an attack card or draw 2.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a preference.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Room for both. So that's Hardback. We also played.
Make sure you have an up-to-date dictionary.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's important. We were using a 1997 dictionary. Sometimes words weren't in there that are words. But that's neither here nor there. If you enjoyed this video, it was just a snippet of our full-length podcast, which you can find on our YouTube channel every week. So please go ahead, like, and subscribe for more board game-related content coming at you in the future.
And don't forget to check out rollforcrit.com, where we actually sell a lot of the games we talked about, as well as post news and all our other videos. Until then, I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this is Roll for Crit.